Welcome to a special behind-the-scenes episode of Common Man Cocktails. I am your host, Derek Schulmer. This is not an official episode. I don't have an intro thing and whatnot because I've had a lot of questions about this in the past. I've done a lot of content around this, but it seems to have gone missing. What I wanted to do is cover a little bit about absinthe. And specifically, I'm going to do a little tasting review. I'm not an absinthe I'm not a professional absinthe drinker, but I'm also not a professional cocktail maker, and I'm not a bartender. I'm an enthusiast, and sometimes that's the perspective I think fits best with consumers. So what I wanted to do is show off some stuff that I've had it for a while, and go through an absinthe review. Specifically, I wanted to focus on absinthe.com. Let me make sure that's right. I got my computer here just to show it off. So here's absinthe.com right here. That's their website. I'm using it as a reference because what they did is they sent us this for review. It was free for me, not free for everybody. So what this is the 3-pack of absinthe. The retail price is $30. They wanted to get out the publicity on this because, well, who wouldn't, right? You always want to be able to promote your products. Specifically, the reason I really like this is because the challenge of getting an absinthe at an affordable price, especially in the United States, is like nearly impossible. For instance, a bottle of, let's pull out this because I've purchased this. This is a review, but I bought another one since then. This is La Clandestine, also available on absinthe.com. But this bottle, to get it into my hands for my father for his birthday, cost me $120. What if you don't like it? I've had it. They sent it to me, the owner. But what if you don't know if it's good? This. What this is for a $30 review pack. They have 2 different ones. I think one's probably double the price because they're double as many. But it's a sampler. Boom! Done. So what this has is 3 vials, 50 milliliters. I think that's like about an ounce, maybe a little more. We'll find out. And it comes with a spoon, absinthe spoon. It also comes with the sugar right here, 1 for each. So you basically have a taste test for $30. You can test three different absinthes, and you can pick them in the, I think it's Absinthe Explorer is what they call it on their website. If you drop down to Absinthe Explorer, you can basically pick and choose 3, or you can do a 6-pack. For about $30. I don't know what the shipping comes to, but they ship internationally because they're not here in the US. So that's cool. That means for $30 I can taste 3 different absinthes and not have to be worried that I just spent $60 to $100 on a bottle that I might not like. Test them. If I really want to zone in on one, I can either go there back and buy it from them, find someplace local if they have it. Probably not. So what we've got is I've got an Absinthe Fountain here. Kind of talking quick because I want to cover as much as I can very shortly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to luge my absinthe. So if you get one of these bubble glasses, which they sent us, they don't come with the pack, but you can get them. They have them on their website. It has a little bubble in the bottom. I have a really fancy one here. This is made of lab glass, so it can like basically hit the ground and bounce. It also has a little bubble there. Looks a little smaller on the bubble side. Fountain, optional. This is about a $220 fountain. Absinthe is more of a, how would we say, a culture that you belong to if you want to get into it. You don't have to get so crazy. We got extra. You don't have to spend $220. You can buy this for like $14. Put it on top to drip water through. I'm going to drip it through here because it's cool. The problem with this is sometimes you have to, while it does fit on a lot of these, it fits on this style. It may not fit on this one. A little bit. The problem with these is you can't get the sugar there, and I don't really use sugar typically when I make absinthe, but I'm going to for this because it's more complete, and it came with it. So there's 2 sugar cubes in here. That's cool. I'm only going to use 1. So I guess if you wanted 2 servings, you could do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an absinthe spoon. I won't use this one because it's taped in there, not clean. We'll go with this fancy looking one here. Boom. I'm going to put my sugar right on top. Don't light it on fire. Don't douse it with absinthe and light it on fire because that's just silly. That's not something that happens in reality. So I'm going to start a little drip of this and let it start luging. So what's going to happen is that's going to probably turn green because it looks like a Verde, a green absinthe. considering it is green already. Here's a white. Sometimes those white ones still come out a little green. But what we're doing right now is we're going to take this absinthe, which is a Czech absinthe from Czechoslovakia. That's what I have here. So this is 70% alcohol. What's that, 140 proof? So it's not weak, but we're going to put about 3 ounces of water. That's what I typically do from it. And let's see, Czech Republic. There's probably some tasting stuff out here, but whatever. So this gives me the chance to be able to test this without having to purchase the entire bottle, because if it's not that good, it's only $6, I think. That's what it works out to. 6, 12, something like that. Maybe more. So it gives me that opportunity. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to get some of that sugar to luge into it, and you're going to see this thing start to turn more of a white color as all those oils, those compressed oils within the absinthe start to expand. I'm not an absinthe pro. There's so much that goes into absinthe that even if I were to cover and it would take a long time, I think I would get a lot of it wrong, because I have in the past. And since we've grown, a lot more people who are into absinthe will probably respond to this and tell me how wrong I am on specific things, so I try to keep it vague. What I can tell you is that it's not illegal in the United States. 2007, they decided to bring it back. And one of the reasons for that, I believe Lucid was one that promoted that and really pushed it to get into the United States and get the bans lifted in here and, sorry about that, here and other countries, is that lab studies have shown from old absinthes that during Prohibition were hidden in their basements of your grandmother's house or whatnot, and they uncover these. You could do chemical tests to see what these old absinthes had, and it turns out that they weren't really going to kill you. They don't make you hallucinate. The drug, the wormwood, the thujone content within an absinthe is so small that you will die 7 times over from alcohol poisoning before you'd ever even see a pink elephant. So that's kind of, I guess I don't really need that anymore. It's kind of a myth. There's tons of myths. What it comes down to is during the time of people not understanding how alcohol really works and how it affects your body, people who drink a lot of alcohol, drunks, tend to overdrink, and those same people may hallucinate. But you know what? It might not have to do with absinthe. It might just have to do with alcohol abuse. And then you drink absinthe and you start to hallucinate or die, and people are like, oh, it's this stuff. It doesn't help, but doesn't necessarily mean it was the cause either. So the reason this little baby here is so expensive, besides its quality of glass, is you'll notice that the stems that drip out the water are really far under it. Jesus. This one, similar, has the stems really low, so the water drains all the way down. This one's also like $200-something. I have like an $80 one. This one here is all dusty. This one, you notice how high the stems are. That means all this water content down here cannot drip out. And that leads you into this dilemma of you have to always overfill it and you end up with this wasted water. So I don't really care for this one too much. That's probably good enough. I would typically go a little higher, but we've been here a while. So let's shut the valve off on this. Ice water in here. It's nice and cold. Now, for those that don't know anything about absinthe, you're going to find it's a little bit black licorice. By a little bit, I mean a real lot. There's a lot of black licorice content in here. Secondly, if you do, I'll put the links down in the bottom for some of the sites here, but Absinthe on the Net is where this came through for review. You can also go to everydaydrinkers.com and read the review on it if you want. Just search for Absinthe Fountain. They're all in there. Let's see what else we got. Absinthe.com is where you could get these packages. So if you're looking for going down that route, Absinthe Devil is another place that has accessories. So you could really build out a library of cool stuff with absinthe. Now you can see it's more of a milky green. Think Sambuca with a more herbal attack. So Sambuca, you get sweet black jelly bean. This is more of a anise or anise, fennel, very herbal. If you can imagine, like if Jägermeister and Sambuca had a baby. Absinthe people are about to kill me. That's a big sip. This reminds me a little bit of the I don't have it up here. I drink it on occasion. before bed, helps me relax. The one from New Orleans, I can't remember what the name of it is right now, Vauqueré, they have, which I think means French Quarter. Theirs is very herbal like this. This is herbal, there's not a lot of alcohol aftertaste, and there's definitely your black licorice flavor is subdued in the finish. Some of them can get pretty bright. This one, the herbal qualities, I can't even tell what herbal. I'm not huge. I can't pick out every single nuance of an absinthe. I'm sure there's people out there that can. You get a ton of, like, I don't know, green herb flavor. And the mouthfeel is very silky. Some of them can be watery. Some of them can be a little overpowering. This one does, around the mid-palate area, you get a little bit of nice sweetness, but then you get a punch of alcohol. But you're looking at 140 proof. And what's the La Clandestine? This one's 53% alcohol. This is a pretty potent little baby right here. We're not talking like weakness at all. This, by the way, I don't even think I said what the name is. This is Absinthe Saint Antoine. Oh, Antoine. It's a Czech absinthe. So let's see. Do they say 50 cl Absinthe Saint Antoine? I think that's how you say it. I don't speak Czech or French or any of those things, but I'm guessing that's how you say it. We also have in here, which I won't test now because I would be destroyed. Let's see if I even could pronounce this one. Absinthe. Oh God, no. Coeur d'absinthe. I can't. I have to look that up. I can't do that on the fly. That's the problem with absinthe. They're all in like weird French words. Laval d'Itra Verte. So this is a green absinthe. Yep. Lighter though. So I'll have to look those up and do tastings later on those. But this is a good introductory because you can taste the real flavors of this, and it's not nearly the sweet Sambuca style flavor as any of those liqueurs. This is much more of an herbal play. Lots of neat, I can't even identify what they would be, but lots of neat herbs in there. And it's really, it becomes an art. You could go, this is the beauty though, you could get one of these sets if you've never had absinthe before. You're going to get 3 tastings at least, half it if you want to, use half the water. You can put it in a regular glass too. Don't get all crazy. If you really need to, just put it in a normal glass, measure out about an ounce, pour it in the glass, drip some, either, what I would do is drip it with a measuring cup or something that has like a little pour thing, and slowly drip it over there if you have to. You can go out and get one of these if you really want to get into it, but now you're another $15 or so with shipping in the hole on something you might not understand. But this, at least you get your spoon, you get your sugar, so you can experience it the way they want. That sugar doesn't really, it's not exploding in this. It's not very super sweet. It just maybe takes some of the edge off of the fact that there's a lot in here. I do notice in the finish, late, 2 minutes down the road, a little dryness. Still get that herbal quality that lingers, but with dryness. Icy, it's chilled. That, my friends, is an example of some absinthe. Hopefully, I touched on a few things. I know there's going to be questions, and I probably can't answer all of them. Wormwood Society, Google it. That's where you want to go to get all the answers to all your questions about the myths, about what's actually in here, the history of it, where it starts, maybe even have if it's banned anywhere. But don't assume it's banned in your country until you do some research, or you go to the store and you see it and you're like, well, it can't be banned. There you go. Question of the day. What are your ideas on the flavors of absinthe? The fennel flavors. Are those off-putting to you? I know plenty of people who don't like Sambuca, that finish of a Jägermeister. What else has that black? Black. There's other things that have that flavor. Galliano, the one way in the back, that's kind of got some of that in there too. So if you don't like that flavor, you are not going to like absinthe. But I know a ton of people who have no idea what an absinthe really is. It's like, is it a grain alcohol? Is it dangerous? No. Also check out absinthe.com. I suggest, if you are curious, just get one of these. Spend the $30 because regardless of how these taste, it doesn't come down to that. This is all about a value play. For $30 to be able to experience new absinthes, even if you're huge into it and they have brands you've never had before, now you can taste test those brands and get those nuances out of those reviews. Line them up, do a whole bunch of them, and well, don't do too many because you'll fall to the floor. Also, don't drink this straight and think that's what it's going to taste like. You're going to get a completely different tasting experience when you illuge it with water the way it's properly supposed to be done. Sugar or no sugar, at least add 1 ounce to 3 ounces, 1 ounce to 5 ounces in that ratio someplace, and give it a try. Like we've always done here, experiment, taste new things. It doesn't matter if you like it or not, at least you know. Until then, you know nothing. And I hope I know just a little bit more than nothing. All right. We're teaching you how to drink absinthe in a crazy fancy way.